Okay, you guys have been missing some fun. I'm trying to figure out how to get this thing off here. I do have a manual for this thing, and it says loosen these two bolts right here and just pull the forks down. Well, guess what? They ain't pulling down. So it's like, oh, it's okay, fine. I'll just take the other nut, bolt out of the triple tree and take it off. Well, that has not been going along too easily. So what I ended up doing is get a piece of wood here. I got it up under the front here and smacking it. Okay, so that side's loose. This side is still not loose. Man, something ain't right with that. Or it is a 1969, so who knows, man. But you can take the fork ears off, maybe. Man, this stuff is seriously like rusted. I mean, rusted bad. I'm trying to be careful so I don't break things. Squirt some more down in here. See if I can get a hold of this. Whew, that is seriously rusted, guys. I mean, rusted bad. And that's probably why this thing has not been pulling down. It is so rusted in here. Holy crap. I'll try to clean that up. I don't think that part of the shock is really going to matter since it just goes through the fork ears, but the question is can we get it to break free? Yeah. That is going to be an issue. Jeez. I think it turns fine. I don't even know if I really want to mess with the bearings in there, but I definitely need to get that off. And that is posing a problem. So let's just soak it. I'm going to let it soak. And I mean, I'm going to let it soak. Fork ear's got a few dings in them, but it is what it is. Yeah, because it said right here, I guess you can see my hand. I don't know if you can even see. Yeah, you can see my hand. I can't see the screen too well. It said all you had to do is remove these two nuts and then pull it straight down. But it is so rusty inside here, it is causing a problem. And then it mentions some long threaded rod in order to put down in there to take these things apart, which I do not have that tool. I'll have to look and see if it shows what thread size that is. I can get some threaded rod and weld a T onto the top of it to turn it out, but I mean, as it is, this plate right here has got to come off. Or figure out a way to break it free without marring. I guess that really don't matter up there. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's just... This is the piece that's got to come off. So I don't know. I'll keep dorking with it. You would think a good whack. I think it's doing nothing but stretching my wire. Yeah, if that is supposed to spin in there, it is definitely... Give me a rag. It is definitely not spinning. So, alright guys, I will be back once I make some progress with this. Okay guys, you know, in one of the videos, or the segments here in this video, I had mentioned that I had got a carb rebuild kit, but the guy said the parts were corroded, but the gasket was good. Well, I have the parts right here in my hand, and as you can see, I mean, most of these are brass, and yeah, definitely corroded. So what I'm going to do is I mixed up the potion, the Alumabrite, 1 part of this to 15 parts water. So I'm going to set them down in this thing here, and then we're just going to let them soak. And I'm going to see if it cleans those parts up. It is 5:45 now. So I'm going to leave those in there for, let's try 10 minutes and see if it makes any impact. And I can tell you right now, it looks like it's definitely doing some stuff. So, and then our next victim will be this petcock. So we're going to see how well that works. So yeah, so that's stop, and then that is on, and then that is should be reserve, which, you know, that reserve still ain't working quite right. I don't think it is, unless I still got this gasket on here wrong or something or other, but I can take it apart. But I just want to kind of put it in this Alumabrite cleaner and see if it does its thing on it. So that'll be our next victim. And you've seen what these parts looked like before we put it in this fancy schmancy solution. One issue I have had with this stuff, and I don't know if I was mixing it wrong, but it was turning the carb black, and it turned the head black, which it was easy enough to, you know, wipe it off, but it's, you know, kind of a pain. So I'm trying to avoid having to wipe this stuff off. I don't think this is going to fit down in there. No, it ain't going to fit in there with that thingamajiggy in there, that pail. So, and then once this is done, and I'm charging the battery on the camcorder because it was about dead, we will proceed with the fork removal. I did get one of them off, and I will show you exactly what I did because we still got one left to do. So, back in a minute. Alright, I ended up adding about another ½ ounce. And as you can see, they came out more of a copper color, which, yeah, I guess I could technically hit it with a piece of sand, a very fine sandpaper to make them brass again, but they're not black, and they'll work just fine. So, those are those parts, and then I stuck the tube down in here, and it definitely looks a little bit better. I might hit it with a fine wire brush. You just kind of polish it up a little bit since it'll be sitting on the side, but it looks pretty good. So, pretty happy with that. Now, let's see here. I don't know how much battery I got left. It says 22 minutes. Let's see if we can do this in 22 minutes or less. Okay. So we're looking back at this front fork. Okay. And what I ended up doing is taking this little, I have these, and I mentioned it in my other one of the segments. I use these little polishing wheels right here. And I'm going to use that to clean up around this frame here real quick. And this one is pretty much seen its day. So let me take this off. I need to order some more of these. I've got a lot of the fine grits, but I'm out of the coarse ones, so we'll just use 320. And we're going to get all this rust, try to get the bulk of this rust off of this tube. And I think I stated before that these things work really good until you hit edges, and then it likes to eat them up. And we're going to try this without putting heat to it. I don't know how well it's going to work. Okay, so we got that. Let's see if we can give this a spin. Nope. Okay, so here's what I did on the other one. And yeah, that's a bit warm. So definitely don't want to go grabbing that with your hand. So let's put these channel locks on here. And we're not putting a whole lot of pressure on it. Okay, so the other one actually broke free fairly easily. This one is not breaking free as easily. So, and I mean, we just put a dab of PB Blaster on it. See, I'm trying not to mangle those pieces up because I think they're going to be another one of those unobtainium parts. Well, obviously, this is not going as planned. Come on, torch. I'm trying not to melt the rubber boot. Not that I'll be able to reuse them, but let's try Plan B. There we go. That sucker is smoking hot there, guys. As you can see from the smoke coming off of it. Let's set these up right over here. That way all the fork oil doesn't run all over the floor. But yeah, there you go. Problem fixed. Problem solved, I should say. And there is a washer in there. Let's get that out of there so it doesn't melt. And then we're going to take this thing off. We'll grab these parts and put them in the chrome cleaner. Good. So we didn't end up messing it up too bad. Okay, so now all we really have left, I'm going to leave of course I say that. This actually spins super smooth, you know. Technically, I mean, I could take it off, drop all the ball bearings out, which I think is the same size ball bearings, top and bottom, clean those up, put them back in, pack them with grease. But I may just leave it like it is because it's fine. So now all we really have left to do is to take off the center stand. So, and we will have a ton of things to clean up. Alright, so we just need to knock that out of there. So let me get my plastic hammer. See if we can give it a little twist. Because, yep, that thing's pretty corroded too. Man. Okay. My safety wire is doing the job. Okay, so we've got this here, center stands out, and the pin. So I'm going to go ahead and take, yeah, I think I'll take this part over to the ultrasonic along with the pin. I'll set it over here. We'll let it soak for a little bit. Alright, so now all we have left to do is unhook my fancy schmancy Harbor Freight light. Undo our cable, and there you have it, guys. We'll put that tighten that back on there. Of course, she's sitting upside down, but there you go. That is it. It is completely dismantled. So, I would say completely. I still got to take the lock off, or just leave it and paint it. I still got to get this for the cables off, and I will take and move these wires, or put a plastic bag around them, and then we'll commence to pressure washing this frame. So stay tuned. Alright guys, we are got the bike apart, working on the tank and putting some spot putty in spots and letting it dry, and so I can sand that smooth. In the meantime, I'm working on just cleaning up bolts and nuts and whatever have you. I'll kind of show you, and I will put a link in the description. You hear me talk all the time about these prime wheels. That's what I use for buffing up all of my chrome parts and whatnot. And I'll tell you what, I will say the Evapor Rust does work better, in my opinion, than the Rust Blast. But these were the shock pieces, shock tops, fork tops, and you can see the inside is actually fairly decent. I will clean these in a minute, and I will show you with what. And these are some of the screw heads for the triple tree. So what I'm going to do is I've got them all cleaned. I will soak them in some acetone or alcohol, and then I'll probably shoot some clear on them just to keep them from rusting again. But back to the prime wheels. These were the air canister covers, and yes, they still have some pitting in them, but that's what I cleaned up with the prime wheels. So I will do the insides and clean them up. And I mentioned previously I use these little wheels. These are 320 grit. I believe these are 400, but they also come in like 180. You can get a variety pack on Amazon. They're, I think, for a 60 pack of different grits, including some buffing wheels. I don't know, $15, $16, something like that. But what I'm going to show you is I'm getting ready to put these in. This is the triple tree. I'm getting ready to put these in the ultrasonic. Just get all the grease and everything off of them. Then I'm going to take them to the prime wheels, and I have a coarse and a I think it's a coarse, medium, and then a fine. I think he's got some new ones, some ultra fine ones, and then we're going to see how these things turn out. These are aluminum, and his name is Cameron Namila. He is on YouTube, but I will put a link to his prime wheels and stuff. He's a super nice guy, and this is where I got the idea for this stuff, and it works great. So, but what I did do is I took, if you look on the inside of this one right here, I took this 320 and ran it inside it, and then ran it inside the other one, and then here is the one that I haven't cleaned yet. And you can see the big difference. And these things were stuck on pretty good, so we will come back to that here momentarily. As for these shocks, I just don't really... I did order another pair. They were in much better shape. These shocks are really kind of a weird design, and if you look at the top of them, the top is kind of the same, but yet bigger, one side the other, and they're concave, so they have a bushing that goes in there. And then on the bottom, on one side, it's got your typical, fork attachment, your rear shock attachment. The other one has another one of those round bushing type things. I can get these shocks brand new from Singapore. Now, they're like $400. I am not spending $400 for a set of shocks. So, kind of want to give an update on that. Getting ready to drop these in the ultrasonic, we'll clean those for a little bit, and then we'll do them on the prime wheel, and I'll bring you back here once I've got them done. So back in a minute. Okay guys, put them in the ultrasonic, cleaned them up, and then put them over on the prime wheel. So, or prime wheels. This is the coarse and the fine. And as you can see, they turn out pretty sharp. They look pretty nice. Now, if you want to keep them like this, clean them off and spray a little clear coat on them. That'll keep them from tarnishing back up or fading. So, got that, which is good. All right, now I was able to get the wiring harness out of the bike, and come to find out we got some issues here. We got some of these wires here, like this blue one where my finger is. That one's kind of cut and messed up. And then this thing must have shorted at some point. This brown wire here is toast, and where it comes out up in here, this whole part here is just chewed away, melted. So this thing had shorted, and somebody must have had too big a fuse in there, or no fuse whatsoever, and caused it to melt some wires. So I'm gonna have to track down some 16 gauge wire, especially the brown, because that's the hot wire on these bikes. And I don't know, pink, brown. The pink is for the horn. Wouldn't need much of that, if anything. But yeah, so this is definitely going to need some work. And take it apart, and oh, right here you can see where all these wires were melted together. So I need to source me some wire. So that is on my to-do list. See what's messed up. And then, where's it at? This is a 6-pin connector. It's shot, all crumbly, but I got some connectors. I can rewire that. That's no big deal. And I've got plenty of these little bullet connectors and stuff like that. Now this starter wire, that thing looks to be about a 10 gauge. That looks to be about a 10 gauge wire. So I'm kind of curious because I think these bikes had a 10 amp fuse. This wire is way too thick to carry current for a 10 amp. That would be a 20 or 30 amp. But then you run into the problem of getting too much voltage through these things and doing exactly what it did, melting them. So anyway, I got to look into that, but just thought I'd give you guys an update. Be back. Okay guys, we got the forks here. I got one done, and I'm going to show you how you take these forks apart. And according to the manual that I have, wrap the chrome piece here in the center, wrap that with rubber, and put it in your vise. And see if this one fits loose. Let's see if this will spin off here without spinning. Nope. Okay. It actually did break loose. Okay, so it's kind of loose, so should be able to slowly spin it off. You see it spinning out of there. I'm going to take you over here to the pan because there's going to be more oil in here. Zoom you back out. And I need to see what parts I can get for these to rebuild them. Take this cap off, this brass or chrome thing off, and we'll let them sit there. I'm going to put the base here, I'm going to put this in the ultrasonic and let it clean up, and it'll eat a lot of the paint off. And then we're going to soak those other pieces in the evapor rust. So let me hold on a minute. Be right back. Alright, so let's see here. Put those gloves off. Move back over here to the table. So you can see the front fork mechanisms. It does have these little right here, these little sliders. And there is a pin, a catch down there to keep it from going down. I will take these and clean them up on the prime wheel as best I can. It doesn't look like the part that actually goes down in the tube is too badly damaged and pitted. This part up here, where you see my finger, that's where those springs sit over top of. So I'll clean this up, and then you got those boots over top of those so you won't even see them. So hoping that there are no issues, but I definitely need to look and see. Get you in position over here. Because these are just plastic, kind of a hard rubber. So I'll clean those. I may just go ahead and drop those in the ultrasonic. Clean that off. But down inside here, there is a seal right here. So I need to source that seal. And it doesn't look like it's going to be that hard to get out. I should be able to knock them out. You know, kind of just set them down on a block, you know, set them on the table here, knock them from underneath, you know, but I got to find the part number for those. And then while I'm at it, I may see if I can get these. They're not too bad. They may just clean up really good with some soapy Dawn water. And that's a metal, looks like a metal bushing. Yeah, that's a metal bushing. So clean those up, and I'll be back. Alright guys, just give a little update. Hey, by the way, exciting news. I was going through my box of parts. I had some other ones buried back there, and I found this side cover. Yeah, it's pretty rough, but it's still looking pretty rough, but that's underneath it, so I had to put some JB weld right there. It was cracked. It's just kind of thin. I didn't really want to put a tack on it. I put some on the outside too. I'll sand that. Okay, I got another coat of this on. I've still got several more coats of this to put on. I need to source a new sight glass, knobs, which I think I can get those on Partzilla. This actually had a couple of rust holes in it, believe it or not, for an oil tank, unless I got water in it over the years. So I've got JB Weld sitting on that, which I'll end up sanding smooth, put some putty on it. You'll never even know it existed. This piece does have a little ding kind of right there. I don't know, you might be able to see it kind of that way. I'm not going to try to bother to hammer that out. I may just make matters worse, so I'll leave it as is. Okay, frame is over here. It's, actually I'm going to probably start sanding on it tonight. Get that prepped and ready to go. And then I've got various pieces over here in various stages of sanding. I've still got the swing arm here, the lower stand. The lower stand is pretty much ready to go. I just got to touch up a few spots. The triple tree here, I need to sand on that some. I went to the store today and totally forgot to get paint stripper. But then this is the foot peg thing. It's pretty rough. I'll hit that with some 80 and then touch it up, prime it. Okay, here's the foot pegs. Here is the dilemma I have with these foot pegs. Okay, if you see this bottom part here where my thumb is kind of sitting, that's the actual foot rest. Okay, and there's supposed to be a rubber thing that goes over that. Somebody along the way had welded these things onto here, and they really did a number on that weld in there. So the other one's the same way, and they work. I can sand them up and paint them, and I thought about maybe getting a plasma cutter out and try to cut that off and then grind off the extra rest of that weld and then get foot pegs. So I don't know. I'm still debating what I'm going to do with that. Can't really find replacement ones. I've looked all over eBay and stuff and can't find any. Then I got the headlight bucket. I got to try to take the speedometer assembly out of here so I can sand this up, clean it up, paint it, prime it. Need to see if I got a bunch of grommets that'll fit in those holes. So that is where I currently am on the bike. Oh, and I've got over here, trying to keep all my stuff together that I'm going to be painting the same color. I've got the lower skid plate. That needs to be just touched up, sanded. You know, it's not horribly bad. So I'll put that over here with my list of parts. I thought I'd hit the jackpot and had found some grips and handles and stuff that I can use. I'm trying to think, what did I do with them? No, they're not down there. Oh, here they are. I did find some assorted cables. I don't know if these... It says throttle cable, YL2, but throttle cable, trust me, is way longer than that. Then one of them says a YL2 clutch cable. That may work. And then it's got another throttle cable. And then it's got a brake cable. But that says YF1. This one says H3. I don't know if these are the right parts. I definitely know that's not the throttle cable. Without a doubt, because the throttle cable and the oil injection cable are together and it splits. I don't know what that cable goes to. Found some foot pegs. I have no idea what these go to because this bike, the YL2, did not even have rear pegs. I found these fork things. It says YGS1. And those are like way too short. That ain't gonna work. This is a, what side is this? This is the clutch side, which this is not going to work because the clutch side on this one has a mechanism that sits on top for the choke. So, don't know exactly what that one goes to, but it's worthless. And then this one here is it's a right-hand side, and it would work. However, it's missing the start button, which would be right kind of in the center of the screen there. So this thing is pretty much worthless too. Here I was getting all stoked, getting all excited, thinking, oh man, I'm gonna save me some money. Nope. Okay, so that's where we are. This stuff's drying. I'll sand it, put another coat, and oh, serious head rush. Get sanding and prepping these more parts here because I got some good weather this week. I did get the new rear shocks in, and they're actually in a lot better shape. However, I will show you the dilemma now that I have. Okay, the one on your right is the replacement. The one on your left is the crappy original. And if you look here, you notice that this white piece on the inside is broke. So these are still intact. They should be able to clean up fairly decently. You know, looks like somebody got some paint on them or something. Get that off there. Compress these, take them apart. Good thing I didn't pitch those the other day because I was going to. But these are actually in fairly decent shape. I could clean them up and paint the springs black, take them apart, but really not too overly concerned with that. And just wanted to give an update, so that's where we are. Back in a few. All right, guys. Today is priming day. Got all these parts cleaned up. This is a YL1, YL2. Yeah, so there's the fork ears, lower forks, the headlight bucket. I did go ahead and I had a lot of work to do on these, so I went ahead and filled those and got all that done. And I didn't want to risk that primer because this other primer is a lot more gray. I didn't want to risk a color change when I do it, so I'm going to go ahead and primer this with the same. Then I'm doing everything else. There's the tank. I'll shoot underneath it, let that dry, give it a good thick coat, and then I'll flip it over and do the rest. And here's the frame. That's all done. And then there is the rear arm. So we are making progress. Let's go on a field trip here real quick. Got my garage halfway taped off, keep some of that spray. I'll use the exhaust fan in the ceiling. Open up the garage doors. And we'll go over here. And I just used, what did I use? That roll bar, chassis and roll bar paint on these other pieces. Oh, I need to take that out there. I don't think that's going to matter. But I got those done. Those are ready to go. I guess go ahead and take this one out there. So we're making progress. Of course, I still haven't decided on a paint color, but that can always come second because some of these, most of the parts, I'll hit probably with some 400 grit once I've got them done, and then wipe them down again. So like the parts of the frame that I know are going to be visible, definitely the tank, the swing arm, you know, a lot of that I'll hit with 400 grit before I spray it the final color. The headlight bucket, you know, actually most of all this stuff sitting on the table will get 400. Then I'll wipe it down again. So in the meantime, I got to order the color. I still haven't decided if I'm doing yellow or red. So that is to be seen. But I'll get it primed up and then we'll take a peek once I'm done.